Hello and welcome to Herald TV News Bulletin with me, Valentin Dias. A Goa-bound flight from Russia with 240 passengers and 7 crew members on board was diverted to Uzbekistan on Saturday morning after the Goa airport director received an email at 12:25 a.m. claiming there was a bomb on the plane. The Daboli airport was put on high alert, and the police, the quick response team, the anti-terrorism squad, the fire brigade and the dog squad were deployed at the airport as a precautionary measure. The flight will arrive later in the state after an extensive search of the plane is carried out.
Around 00:25 hours रात्रीच्या सकाळची वेळ अर्ली मॉर्निंग एअरपोर्ट डायरेक्टर मेल आयलो फ्रॉम अननोन सोर्सीस सेइंग दॅट आझूर एअरलायन्स जो फ्लायट आसा रशिया टू गोवा 4:15 लँड जावप आसलें तितून थंय बॉम्ब आसा म्हणून ताणें एक इन्फॉर्मेशन दिली. सो तितून इन्फॉर्मेशन सगळ्यांक पास आउट केले आनी आमकां अलर्ट केले. कंट्रोल रुमान आमकां अलर्ट केले. सो आमी सगळे आमची प्रिकॉशन स्टँडर्ड ऑपरेटींग हे आसा तितून आमी सगळ्यांक आमी अलर्ट केले. तितून आमचे ATS मागीर डिस्ट्रिक्टाचो स्टाफ मागीर फायर ब्रिगेड ATS सगळ्यांक मोबिलायज करून आमी रेडी पोजिशनान रावले आनी थंय रावन सगळे आमी अरेंजमेंट प्रिकॉशन सगळे घेतले आनी तेच्यान आमी मिटींग चालू आशिल्लें. सो मिटींग करता आसतना तितून ते हितून एअरपोर्ट डायरेक्टर आनी सगळे कन्सर्न ऑफिशियल तितून मागीर तांकां इन्फॉर्म केलें जे फ्लायटीन येताले ते पायलटाक बी आनी तो फ्लायट आसा तेंच्यांनी मागीर ऑन रूट टू गोवा उझबेकिस्तान थंय ताका लँड केलो फ्लायटाक. थंय लँड करून तो थंय अरावंड 4:30 तो लँड जालो थंय हितून उझबेकिस्तानान 3:30 लँड जालो आनी थंय तो आमी आख्खो थंय ताजो सेक्युरिटी चॅक जावन तो मागीर तो गोंयान येतलो.
प्रेझेंट सिच्युएशन कितें आसा चॅकिंग जालें कितें कळ्ळें इन्फॉर्मेशन
आतां प्रेझेंट सिच्युएशन आमकां कांय खबर ना तेजें कितें तें पण मुवमेंट तो थंयच्यान लीव जातकच आमकां हांगा इन्फॉर्म करता ते आनी तो फ्लायट हांगा गोंयान येतलो तो कित्याक हांगा वेटींग पॅसेंजर्स आसा रशियाक परत वचपी तांकां ड्रॉप करतलो आनी हे पॅसेंजर परत रशियाक वतले.
कितले पॅसेंजर्स आसले क्रू मेंबर कितले आसले
तितून क्रू आशिल्ले ते 7 क्रू आशिल्ले आनीक 240 पॅसेंजर आसा.
सर अशें आनी एक सेम इन्सिडंट घडलेलो केन्ना घडलेलो कितें
जालें एक अरावंड 15 दीस पयलीं जानेवारीन तो इन्सिडंट जालो सेम तो वीथ आझूर एअरलायन्स. सो तो मेसेज ताजो जनरेट जाल्लो हितून रशियान आनी रशियानूच ताका इन्फॉर्म केलें बट वेरेज हो आसा तो आमकां मेसेज एअरपोर्ट डायरेक्टर येयला ईमेल अबावट दीस बॉम्ब. बट आमी कांय चान्स घेयना. तर सगळे आमी प्रिकॉशन्स घेतले स्टँडर्ड ऑपरेटींग प्रोसिजर आमी फॉलो करून आमी ते सगळे प्रिकॉशन घेवन आमी ते आतां व्हेरीफाय करता.
Activists under the banner of Goa Against Coal have upped the ante against enhancement of coal handling at the Jindal Steel Works managed berths. The Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has granted environment clearance to the Southwest Port Limited for its proposed terminal capacity enhancement at berth 5A and 6A at Mormugao Port for handling coal, coal products, iron ore, limestone and steel products. The total cargo to be handled is expected to go up to 12 to 13 million tons per annum. Activists reacted with anger as Union Ministry granted permission for coal expansion.
ताबडतोब तुम्ही फाटी घेवचे कित्याक this will be the dead end for the people of Mormugao Taluka because we have seen COVID time how the surge of COVID started in Vasco. Why? Because precisely because of the pollution and the respiratory problem where every Vasco people have been facing. So how can this government allow expansion plan when you know the existing itself is creating nuisance to the people of Vasco Taluka? आता हालींच आमचो आमोणकारान म्हणलें की ammonia could be a threat to the people of Vasco. ड्रिल जावपाक जाय हें जावपाक अरे जेन्ना तुमी हें वाडयलें जाल्यार तें कितें जातलें थिंगा. सो हांव मागता सरकाराक हें ताबडतोब फाटीं घेवचें नाल्यार आमी गोवा अगेन्स्ट कोल चळवळ मुखार वतले.
जेन्ना तुमी पयलीं उलयताले कोर्स नाका म्हूण हेंच उलयाय म्हूण हांव तुमचे कडेन गोवा अगेन्स्ट कोलाचो कन्व्हिनर रिक्वेस्ट करता की कोर्स नाका म्हूण उलय. कित्याक बोब मारताय आमी गोंयकार आमकां गोंयचो मोग आहा आमकां गोंय काडी जालो नाका म्हूण गोंय ग्रीन दवरपा जाय. तुमी म्हणटाय गोंय ग्रीन उरपा जाय गोंय बरें क्लीन उरपा जाय ट्युरिस्ट येवपा जाय हे भाशेन कोर्स येयलो इतलोय कोर्स येयलो जाल्यार कितें जातलें हेजें आयज तूं म्हणटाय पोल्युशन देंवोवपा जाय न्हू पोल्युशन देंवयतले कशें कितकोन देंवयतले कितें हातून पडपाय कोर्स जर तो जायत येयलो वाऱ्याचेर तो केंस उगता आयज तो हिंगा देंवता बरो पूण दोनापावल वचोन चोयल्यार तुमी घरांचेर कोण पडलो तें पोल्युशन न्हू तें कोण लोक व्हरोन घालना वाऱ्याचेर वाऱ्याक केस कंट्रोल करता तुमी आयज उग्र वार म्हणटा हीटचो वार म्हणटा हें तांकां खबर आहा तोडचो वार जाता भायलो वार जाता हें खबर आहा हें वाऱ्याचेर सगळें उबोन जाण एकल्या घरांनी वयता
एंटायर 10-20 वर्सांची ही फायट आमी कोळसो नाका म्हणटात आमचो स्टँड सामको क्लियर आसा तुमी ग्रीन कार्गो हाडा कितें हाडा कोळसो हो डेफिनेटली नाका अंडरस्टँड करा काल 2 दीस पयलीं एका बारीकशें एग्जिटेशन जालें सिटींतल्यान कोल वचपाक लागलो म्हणून लोकांक पोल्युशन जालें म्हणून कळपाक लागलें सो हे कोल 10 वर्सां जालो वयता हांकां कोणा लोकांक आमदारांक खबर नासलें सिटींतल्यान वयता म्हणून सिटींतल्यानूच वयता आतां तो मुर्मुगांव चेंज केलो एंटायर एजिटेशनाचो फक्त फायदो एकूच जालो तो फायदो म्हणटा तो ट्रान्सपोर्टर चेंज जालो
Kiran Borkar for Herald TV.
Is the government policy on locating industrial estates on plateaus above the village faulty? Is there widespread groundwater and air pollution on villages which lie a foot on the plateau where industries are located across Goa? What is the impact on life of the people based on these policies? What can be done to rectify the situation? Listen to this special story.
As I told you, number one is their drinking water is polluted, the air is polluted. Okay, these were grazing lands for their cattle because it was an agrarian economy. So today the cattle are now on the roads. There is no fodder for the cattle. Okay, a lot of livelihoods around the kaju plantations and all have been destroyed because of pollution, that is the fumes and all coming out from various factories. And as you know that the tests done by the pollution board many times are so-called manufactured tests, and depending on whose interests have to be protected, and so the whole truth never comes out, and there are various ways of manipulating tests by the pollution control board. So people are adversely infected, and besides that also the social impact of whole lot of migration which is coming there and bringing in criminality also.
So what suggestion do you have to rectify this situation?
The problem is that there should be a thorough audit done of all the industrial estates in Goa. They have to be audited for their impact on the environment, impact on the livelihoods of people, and the general social impact that is taking place as far as law and order is concerned.
The Pilan Industrial Estate fire involving the Berger Paints company, I think, is a wake-up call for all villagers and villages where the industrial estates are located on plateaus. The question of whether these location of these industries on these plateaus was a faulty decision, from hindsight one would think so. But I think the challenge today is to have a robust monitoring system of any possible air and water pollution that may take place with relations to these industries. The village panchayats need to discuss this issue of monitoring of the pollution levels in close collaboration with the Goa State Pollution Control Board. Every village panchayat now has to set up a village development committee, and this village development committee has to also work along with the village water and sanitation committee. So village panchayats now face a challenge, as well as some of the industrial estates which are located near the municipal council jurisdiction. Therefore, I think in 2023, villagers will need to understand what the Air and Water Pollution Act has in terms of its rules, what are the obligations of the various authorities, and what a village panchayat can do this needs to be discussed at the Gram Sabha level, and neighborhoods need to organize themselves to understand the challenges.
हायटीर तुवें आतां इंडस्ट्री दिलें आनी ते स्पेशली पोल्युशन दिलें. हें पोल्युशन वील ट्रॅवल किलोमिटर्स अवे. सो आनी ते कितें करता, जे पळय दोंगरार पळय आसा ते बोरवेल मारून पोल्युशन थिंगाच सोडटा, हितून सोडटा, ऑन द हिल टॉप सोडटा आनी मागीर ते सगळे शेतांनी व्हांवता. If you see in Sankwal industrial estate, we have seen that most of the pollution sewage comes down and goes into the field, and because of that, fields in neighboring areas are fallow.
We have made Goa as a garbage of bringing putting any kind of industries. That is absolutely disastrous act by the government or by the industrial lobby. Goa is a very fragile ecosystem, part of the Western Ghats, and therefore the industry should be brought in tune with the local ecosystem. Any industry which creates air and water pollution must be stopped, discarded, and sent it out. That's the only solution we have. People talk about the technology, but again, technology depends on the use by the honest people. And we have again lot of instances where it has no use. For take example of people who lives in around Komarjue, they are facing threat of any discharge of poisonous gas from nearby industry. And what industry is doing, they are just giving advertisements time to time saying that this is not for the evacuation, this is just for the trial. So why the Goan population should be compelled to live under threat? So such industries must be discarded.
Freddy Fernandez, Devendra Gaonkar and Kiran Borkar for Herald TV.
Lots of mistakes have been committed by various governments in Goa in handling the Madhai water disputes issue. Many of these are political compromises to please the double-engine Sarkar. Yet again, an NOC has been given by the CWC to Karnataka's detailed project report, even though the case is before the Supreme Court. The state BJP government has vowed to demand the withdrawal of the DPR by the centre and setting up a Madhai Water Management Authority. What do experts say should be the way forward? Listen to this special story.
गोंय सरकारान ह्या संदर्भान वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोनांतल्यान ह्यो सगळ्यो गजाली ज्यो आसा, आपले जे प्लिडींग केल्लेले आसा सर्वोच्च न्यायालया समोर, ते सपोर्ट करपा खातीर जो डेटा लागता तो डेटा गोळा करपाक जाय. कारण तो जर डेटा व्यवस्थितपणान मांडूंक ना जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता की आमची बाजू आसा ती दुर्बल जावंक शकतली. आनी तेका लागून हायड्रोलॉजीच्या एंगलान किंवा मरीन इकॉलॉजीच्या संदर्भान किंवा वायल्ड लायफ आनी जे वेगवेगळे प्राणी थंय मेळटा ह्या सगळ्यांचो नैसर्गीक अधिवास जर आसा तो सुरक्षीत उरपा खातीर आमकां बाबा हें पाणी आसा ह्या न्हंयन ते व्हांवते उरोंक जाय. तेंचो नैसर्गीक अधिवास जर इबाडलो मागीर ह्या न्हंयतलें उदक जर कमी जालें जाल्यार तेचे कितें दुश्परिणाम जावंक शकता. किंवा आमच्या कृष्णापूर हांगासर जे महसीर मासे आसा त्या माशांचेर एकंदर 8.2 TMC फीट उदक जे आसा ते कर्नाटकान जर जलविद्युत निर्मिती करपा खातीर कोटणी हांगासर वापरले आनी ते मागीर सोडले जाल्यार तेचे कितें दुश्परिणाम जावंक शकता. ह्या दृश्टिकोनांतल्यान अभ्यास जर जावंक जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता की आमची बाजू जी आसा ती खूब लंगडी पडटली. आनी तेका लागून गोंय सरकारान बेगोबेग ह्या संदर्भान जे क्लायमेट चेंज आसा, ग्लोबल वॉर्मिंग आसा आनी एकंदर जे गोड्या उदकाचे स्रोत आसा ते कशे काबार जाय आसा आनी गोंयची परिस्थिती कशी कठीण जाय आसा. बाबा कितलें पाणी आमकां पिवपाचें मेळटा आनी सद्या मारामारी कशी सुरू आसा आनी सद्याच पिवपाचें उदक जें आसा तें मेळप कुस्तार जाल्लें आसा. हे सगळे आंकडेवारी जी आसा ती वैज्ञानीक पद्दतीन जर मांडली जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता की आमचें राज्य आसा तें हितूंतल्यान ह्या लढाईन सरस जावंक शकता. नाजाल्यार आमची लढाई जी आसा ही खूब दुर्बल जातली.
The government should immediately form a group of scientists to carry out detailed studies about all the aspects of the ecology of Madai River and its basin. Every aspect such as the vegetation, the wildlife, the agriculture, the fishing business, all these things should be studied in detail in a scientific manner if we have to win this case in the court of law.
When you are talking about Madhi, the government has to look at other water bodies too, so that we can give justice to all the water bodies, including Madhi. Now, Madhi is very much important, and therefore, the government has to also look at the other aspect also. If government wants, now this one committee, house committee, which is constituted, is not going to work for Madhe, and that's not going to be the right approach to solution to Madhe issue. So what I say that it is only the expertise who can deal with this issue, so also can deal with the Supreme Court petition also.
It is very clear that if you want to fight this issue of Madai diversion, then a scientific study with all aspects like hydrogeology, geology, wildlife, forests, then other things, the impact of the diversion on local communities, that also should be taken into consideration, and scientific data has to be prepared out of this, which is to be produced before the Supreme Court, or otherwise it is not possible.
Freddy Fernandez and Devin Gongar for Herald TV.
Goa Dairy has decided to hike the prices of its products from Saturday, leaving the common man baffled. The Goa Dairy has last hiked its prices last year in May. The Goa Dairy has been constantly in the news with suffering losses for the past few years. Now that they have a new board elected and managing the fairs, the dairy sales have increased now to about 57,000 litres per day. With the rising cost of production, they have no choice but to hike the price of milk. Disappointed by this hike, people have requested the government to revert back to the preceding price.
सगळे लोक व्हरतात तेन्ना पयलीं 27 रुपया आसली आतां ती 28 रुपया गेली
अर्द लिटराक
हय अर्द लिटराक 2 रुपया मागीर 2 रुपया तरी वाडले म्हणल्यार लोकांनी गरिबांनी कितें करप गरिबांनी अशें म्हणटा न्ही इतली जर दुदाची 1 रुपया चड च्या जायना थोडीच सो दोग जाण 3 जाण दाट च्या जाल्यार म्हणटा कितें जातली चड जाणां अशें जायना लोकांनी कितें करप
अर्ध लिटराचे कितले वाडले अर्ध लिटराचे कितले
वाडले 29 रुपया केले
पयलीं कशें आशिल्ले
पयलीं 27 रुपया आशिल्ली आतां 28 रुपया 29 रुपया केले तेन्ना तूं कितें करप गरिबांनी कितें करप
तुम्ही हेच दूध घेता गो
आमी हेच घेता दूध गोवा डेअरी ल्हान ल्हान भुरग्यांनी गोवा डेअरीच जाय न्ही तेन्ना नाशिल्ल्यांनी बी कितें करप गरीब लोकांनी कितें करप जर कितें कमी करपाचें सरकारान आशिल्ली तीच रेट पूण दवरपाक जाय वाडोवप ना अशें आमचें म्हणणें.
Bureau Report, Herald TV.
Aldona MLA Carlos Alvarez Ferreira claimed to have received a mistaken panic call from a staff member of St. Xavier's College in Mapsa on account of the sudden barging in of students claiming to be ABVP members and disrupting the classes and intimidating the staff and other students. Carlos stated that he was constrained to inform the DIG, who later resolved the issue. Elements that disrupt education should not be allowed in any premises. He also stated that Goa does not need a JNU-like situation. He added that hatred should not be sowed in the state.
Due to a mistaken call, the call which was made to me thinking I was somebody's PA, frantically asking me for help at St. Xavier's College, I realized and came to know that some people claiming to be members of ABVP, which is the youth wing of the BJP, had stormed into St. Xavier's College in Mapsa and disrupted classes and were trying to infiltrate and probably create some law and order and disturbances and probably some violence. The teachers were panicky and the entire staff was worried. When I knew the gravity of the situation, I immediately called up the PI, who told me he had already gone to the site and visited. But nothing had been done till then, and therefore I was constrained to call Mr. Omveer Singh, our DIG, who immediately told me we will not tolerate such kind of things in educational institutions, and he promised me action. And I am glad to say that he kept his word and the situation was diffused immediately. Such kind of elements who try to disrupt education or the classrooms should not be allowed even in any premises. Just because you have an affiliation with a political party does not give you a right to enter, barge into colleges and institutions and disrupt the educational system. We don't want another JNU in Goa, and we don't want hatred to be sowed between members of the fraternity, of the student community, or even our local community. हांव सगळ्यांक मागता असले लोकांक मातशें पयस दवरपाक आनी लागीं घेवपा न्ही, कित्याक हांव जाणा आमचे गोंयकार भाव आनी भयणी केन्नाय असले वस्तू करनात.
Today problem is sorted out and Mamledar has called for the meeting on Tuesday.
Demand किने असले सर तुमचे?
Mamledar called for the meeting on Tuesday. Okay?
Yes, thank you. Prakash Kadekar for Herald TV.
Only 72 taxi registration forms for the taxi counter at the Manohar International Airport in Mopa have been submitted at the Perne RTO office, informed RTO officer Kamalkant Karapurkar. After receiving the remaining forms, the RTO office will move on to the next step as per the government's directives. Karapurkar also informed that the taxi counter at the Manohar International Airport in Mopa is not notified yet.
नमस्कार, गुड मॉर्निंग. आजपासून जे हा फॉर्मा येयल्या की डायरेक्टर ट्रान्सपोर्टान जी का दिल्या फॉर्मा लोकांक ती 50 येयल्या आणि 22 PCO बी म्हणून तेंच्यांनी दिल्या. सो टोटल 72 फॉर्मा आमचे कडेन येयल्या.
सर आता ते सध्या टॅक्सी कारांचे जे इश्यू आसा पळय त्यांचे फॉर्मा कितले ते 22 सध्या आसात अशें दिसता तुमकां, बरोबर न्ही? 22 जाणांनी
22 येयले.
22 आयल्या. हां, एकंदरीत सर कितें आसा ते सध्या ते फॉर्म भरल्या उपरांतूच तेंचे ते कावंटर जे आसा तांकां मेळटलें अशें कितें आसा सर?
हे आतां फॉर्मा आतां येता पळय, फाल्यां मेरेन आमी 5:30 मेरेन आमी ते घेतले आनी त्या फुडें मागीर कितें प्रक्रिया आहा पळय प्रोसिजर सरकाराचो त्या प्रमाणे आमी मागीर ती हे करतले.
ओके. आतां सर मोपा एअरपोर्टाक न्ही टॅक्सी कावंटर, ब्लू टॅक्सी कावंटर कितें तरी ते अजून जाल्या काय तुमकां कितें इन्फॉर्मेशन आसा सर?
ना, ब्लू टॅक्सी कावंटर मोपा एअरपोर्टाचे अजून पासून तर काय म्हाजे कडेन हे ना, इन्फॉर्मेशन ना.
जो मेरेन हे फॉर्म भरिना तो मेरेन कांयच ना म्हणटात, कांय ना. एकंदर सर पयल्यार आतां सोमार मेरेन आतां तुमी म्हणटात 22 जाणांचेच पावल्या. मागीर कशें कितें जातलें सर समजा तेंच्यांनी जर
72 फॉर्म आयले टोटल, मागीर ती जी बाकीचे फाल्यां मेरेन येतली सोमार मेरेन ती मागीर सगळे आमी मागीर डायरेक्टरा इन्फॉर्म करतले.
ओके.
डायरेक्टर ट्रान्सपोर्ट आमचा त्यांना इन्फॉर्म करता.
आणि सर समजा जर फाल्यां टॅक्सी कावंटर जालें कितले मिनिमम कितले आसतले सर थंयसर टॅक्सी?
अजून काय तेजो अजून हे जावना. आमचे कडेन अजून काय इन्फॉर्मेशन ना.
ओके. जे तुमच्या कडेन येता ते तुम्ही ते प्रोसेस करता.
Maqbool Malgimani for Herald TV.
It is a pity the way our public projects are executed. There is little attention or sensitivity towards public safety. On Saturday, a woman pedestrian's leg was trapped in the drain cover on the service road near the Bamboli flyover opposite the Goa Medical College. The woman was in great pain. After many antagonizing moments, the metal drain trap was cut by the firefighters and the woman freed to the relief of everyone. Here's the story.
पण हे आता याचे आता करंटली आता
थंय कित्याक गॅप तर व्हडल्या तिचो आतां गेला आनी कोणाचो वचूंक शकता. तेंच्यांनी कितें तरी उपाय करून तरी बारीक कितें तें घालपाक ते चड गॅप व्हडल्या आतां तिचो पांय घालून भायर भुरग्याचो वचूंक शकता. कितें मागीर परत ते इन्सिडंट जावंक शकता. म्हणजे तेच्या पयलीं कोणाचे कन्सर्न हे सॉल्व करपाक.
नाव कितें बायलेचें नाव कितें? शरद गांव.
Sagun Gowde for Herald TV.
Wasco Police has initiated a community policing program targeted at slum areas named Prayas. With the number of criminals hiding in slum areas, the project aims at sensitizing slum dwellers about their basic rights. to bridge the gap between police and the society and to prevent unlawful activities.
आमी लोकांक भितर आमी सगळ्यांक जॉयंट करता. आमी तांकां सगळ्यांक हाडून जितके लागीं हाडटा लोकांक की आमी तांचे वॉट एवर सर्विसीस आमी दिता ते तांकां आमी एक्सप्लेन करता तेंचे आमी व्यूज घेता तेंचे डिफिकल्टी विचारता आनी जे कितें तांकां कोण आमकां ते पुलीस स्टेशन पावना आमी तेंचे फुड्यान वता तेंचे फुड्यान वचून तेंचे डिफिकल्टी जाता ती आमी सॉल्व करपाची करता तशेंच आमी तेंचे हितून स्पोर्ट्स मागीर खेळपाचे हितून सगळे स्पोर्ट्सान बी आमी ताका हे करतले आनी टॅनंट व्हेरिफिकेशन जितके आमचे फेसिलिटी आसा तांकां आमी हाडून एक्सप्लेन करता इन्फॉर्म करता आनी वो आमचो दूरी आसा वो हम लोग दूरी मिटा रहे हैं और हम लोग नज़दीकी ला रहे हैं जितना होता है नज़दीक करके उनको हम लोग सब लोग अच्छी तरफ लेके जा रहे हैं और हम लोग एक अच्छा बॉन्डिंग कर रहे हैं ये हमारा एक प्रयास है लोगों से.
This is a prayas, is an initiative taken by our SP South. This is a community policing initiative, especially in slum areas, because in slum areas you know that most of the criminals are taking the shelters. So people from different areas are residing in slum areas and they are taking the chance to commit any crime. So in this particular in prayas, so we are called many experienced speakers so to tell about the various things about regarding the crime against women, regarding the drugs awareness, regarding the traffic. So now they will tell their experience to some areas so that they can take the precaution, they can be alert in the future regarding this type of crime.
Public community interfere with each other is a very important thing for running the law and order of the state. This is a beautiful project, Prayas, by which police, of whom we are always in awe, are coming close to the public, which is a required thing. And they creating awareness that they are there for them makes a big difference to the public, and I'm sure that this will go a long way to build a bridge between police and the community so that law and order, rule of law, everything is maintained in society.
Kiran Borkar for Herald TV.
The government of Goa distributed Ladli Lakshmi sanction letters to the beneficiaries on Friday at functions held in Mormugao and Perne. 63 pending sanction letters were distributed in Mormugao, while 72 pending sanction letters were distributed in Mandre.
ही आमची लाडली लक्ष्मीची सँक्शन जालेली आसा मोर्मुगांव कॉन्स्टिट्युन्सी आनी ही टोटलायज जे डिस्ट्रिब्युशन केला ते आमी 63 लाडली लक्ष्मी डिस्ट्रिब्यूट केला. 5 दीस पयलीं अरावंड 78 लाडली लक्ष्मी डिस्ट्रिब्यूट केली. सो हे जे आमचे लाडली लक्ष्मीचे खूब दीस जाले पेंडींग असलेले जितली पेंडींग केसीस आसा थोडी पेंडींग केसीस आसा त्यो आतां तेंच्यानी असेंब्ली आमकां एश्युरन्स दिल्ली आसा क्लियर करतली म्हणून आनी खूब दीस जाली पेंडींग असलेली लाडली लक्ष्मीची जे आमच्या सगळ्यांक लोकांनी जी एप्लाय केल्ली.
आयज आमी हांगा लाडली लक्ष्मी जी खूब टायम जालो पेंडींग आसलेली आनी तांकां खूब इन्क्वायरी येताली की आजून पर्यंत डिस्बर्स कित्याक जायना म्हणून. सो हांव सगळ्यात पयलीं धन्यवाद म्हणटा आमच्या राज्य सरकाराक की तेंच्यांनी हे सगळ्या जेंच्यांनी एप्लाय केले तांकां तेंच्यांनी डिस्बर्स केला आयज आनी ऑलमोस्ट आयज आमी 73 लाडली लक्ष्मी आमी सगळ्यांक दिल्ली आहात.
Kiran Borkar and Vinod Mehtar for Herald TV.
That's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thanks for watching Herald TV News. For more news and alerts, please follow us on Heraldo on Facebook and Twitter. Take care and goodbye.